So I understand the law of reciprocity. Why doesn't Trump? Hey guys, I want to share with you a story, something that happened to me probably about 15 years ago. I was traveling to Chile, and when I got off the plane, I was going through customs, going through the process of coming into the country. So when the customs agent looked at my passport, he asked me, did I go to the reciprocal office? I said, no, what's the reciprocal office? He says, hey, go down this hallway, make a right, and you'll run right into the reciprocal office. So that's what I did. When I got there, it literally was a booth that was built in the middle of the floor, and it was completely closed off, no windows, no anything. So I rang the doorbell. Next thing you know, someone from the inside opened a half door, and I told them that the customs agent sent me here. So she looked at my passport, and she said, okay, so that's going to be $146. And I said, $146? Says, yes, $146. So me not knowing anything, and I need to get into the country for work, I went ahead and paid the $146. She printed out this little ticket and stapled it to one of the pages of my passport. Okay, so now I make it into the country. I meet up with my colleagues, and next thing you know, we're discussing at dinner after a day's work. We were in Santiago, Chile. And I was telling them about this reciprocal fee. So one of the guys asked me, do you know what that reciprocal fee is about? I said, not at all. He says, well, at a certain point, America started charging Chilean passport holders $146 to get into the US. So what Chile did in return, or in reciprocity, they started charging US passport holders $146 reciprocity fee. So essentially, they made up an office just to thumb their nose back at the US. So this is the same thing with tariffs. So we can impose tariffs. The problem with that is, based on the rule of reciprocity, they can now begin charging us tariffs. No good deed goes unpunished, right? So the way tariffs work, it's a tax that the US is placing on goods that are being imported. This results in the business ordering these imported goods to pay more for the goods coming in. So now that cost is passed on to the consumer. So where this kind of helps local businesses is it makes the import product more expensive, and people may choose to buy a domestic product. The problem is that a lot of these products are not equal, and some products we just don't make here, especially nowadays. So when we go to buy this imported product, we pay more. So when you say, hey, well, who needs those imported products anyhow? Well, let me tell you, you do. Alcohol, gas, cars and auto parts, electronics, household appliances, clothing and footwear, everyday consumer goods like kitchenware and toys, and anything that requires supplies and materials from another country to be built or assembled here in the US. That's why it's not a good idea. Now, imposing tariffs on, let's say, Canada and Mexico, so now we're talking about that affecting let's say products like tequila, mezcal, lumber, gas prices increasing even more due to the fact of oil and gas. It's not anything to take lightly.